Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining me today for the last video in a three-part series that I've been doing on my homeschool planning. So if you haven't been watching along, I will link those two videos below so that you can catch up because they kind of do build on themselves. But the first video was how I plan my homeschool year, how I schedule in what days we're going to be homeschooling, what days we're going to be taking breaks, when our holidays are going to be, how many weeks in the year I plan to do. So just how do I decide when we're going to homeschool and when we're going to take breaks? The second one was taking the curriculum that I've chosen and dividing it up within the allotted time. Now that I have a year planned out, I know how many weeks I'm going to do, how much of my curriculum do I need to divide up into each week, and giving myself kind of a schedule for that to follow along for my planning for the year. This one is more of, well, it's kind of two parts. One is going to be taking your week and deciding what subjects you're going to do what days. And then with that, decided taking that and creating a fake schedule. By fake schedule, I mean not something that you're really going to stick to as a schedule, but once you've decided your curriculum, it's really helpful to break it up into a schedule for the day and see, did I way overschedule myself? Did I give myself way too much curriculum for the time that I want to do my homeschool day? When are we going to end our day if I do everything that I've planned? Or do I have way too little? Or did I not give myself enough for the day? It also helps with knowing how you want to organize your daily flow. So once you kind of put things around, move things around, figure out how you're going to do your fake schedule, it gives you a really good idea of, oh, let's do these things first and then this and then these. And it just kind of helps you organize how your day is going to proceed. But I don't use it to stick to it. I will put allotted times. I'll make 8:30, 9, 10, but I don't really plan to do things at 8:30, 9, or 10. I'll just do things in the order that I think is the best. Things will change up. I'm not going to follow this religiously. The main purpose of this is to see if you have way overdone yourself for the day, if you planned in way too much or not enough, and kind of like I said, to create some sort of flow or rhythm for the day that you think looks good. Things change, but that's kind of the purpose of this. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. I would love to know any tips and tricks you have for planning, so comment those below. Any questions you have as we go through this, if I'm not making something clear, please let me know because I would love to answer any questions that you have. And with that thought in mind, I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you my computer. And because that's how I do most of my planning, I plan it on some sort of spreadsheet, print it out, and then make notes throughout the year because I like a physical copy, but I do like to create the formatting and the basic schedule on my spreadsheet. You could totally do this by hand. It's just my preference. So let me show you my computer screen and kind of walk you through this. Okay, so here we have what I'm going to start with is my weekly schedule. And by that I mean I'm going to divide out my subjects into days. So I can do one weekly schedule for both children because we do the same subjects every day. And it's easiest to start with subjects that you know are going to be every day or your core subjects. So for instance, every day while my kids are eating breakfast, we're going to do our memory work. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in to every single day. Okay, that's easy. I know that's going to be a daily one. I know we're going to do devotions every day. Again, probably during breakfast. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in every single day. I know that our Bible is 4 times a week, and because I plan to have a adventure group or co-op of some sort on Thursdays, I'm going to mark that. So as I'm planning, I can keep in mind that this day I want to keep a little more empty, I suppose, because we're going to be doing our adventure group co-op. I don't want to plan a lot of stuff in. And so since our Bible is 4 days a week, I'm going to skip that day and we're going to do our Bible curriculum the other 4. Again, I know these things because of last week where we broke down our curriculum into a certain amount of weeks. So I know how much I need to do each week. And so now I'm just kind of assigning them the days they belong to, not the amount of time. For instance, handwriting. I know I have 4 pages a week I need to do in order to complete the book. So that's only 2 days a week. So where do they go? But I'm not going to start with that because that is an easy one to move around and make fit where it belongs. I want to start with the things that are core and that I know I want to do, must be dones, and the ones that are going to be almost every single day. I'm going to be doing phonics and reading with my children. And that's going to be every day, again, except for Thursday, because I want to keep that kind of open. Our math has a 4-day-a-week schedule as well. And so we're going to do that same thing. I'm going to put those all of these days, leaving Thursday as my main empty day. And then with that, we're going to be doing 2 group subjects twice a week each. Let me think about that actually. No, sorry, I got that wrong. 2 group subjects once, twice a week, and once 3 times a week. So our history is going to be 3 times a week, and I kind of want to do the 3 days together. Um, so what I'm thinking is our other subject that's a group subject that we're going to be doing instead of history, we're going to go back and forth, is our foreign languages, our German. So I'm thinking I'm going to do our German in the beginning of the week and the end of the week. And I have laid this all out already, so I know what I'm going to be doing. I'm just kind of walking through what I would do with you. It would take me a lot. It did take me a lot more time to put all this together when I first did it. So if it looks like I'm just whizzing through, it's because I know what I'm doing. When I first had to figure out what days it belonged to, it took a lot more juggling than this. And once I created the schedule that I'm going to show you again in a second, I came back and re-changed some of these things up. Okay, geography, that is an everyday. It's a 1 page a day for my daughter. So that's going to be something that I'm going to throw in here. Whoops. Every day. The things that are every day are so easy. It fills us out nicely and I don't have to think about it. Oops, sorry. Wow, I do not normally have this much trouble with this. And then down here. Okay. So that is that. And then my daughter is going to be doing piano practice 4 days a week. I'll probably do a lesson with her once a week, but 4 days a week. I want her to be in it. We'll leave Thursday as the day that she doesn't have to. Again, just trying to keep that very light. Okay. And then we have logic, and logic I plan to do 2 times a week. And I think at this point, we're going to try and divide these up. I think we're going to do logic Wednesdays and Fridays. That's what I've decided. Again, it took me a little bit more time than this to decide. I had to do a little bit of juggling, but this is how we're breaking it down for now. And then handwriting is also twice a week. And because it's so quick and it's an individual subject, I am going to throw it here on Thursday. Even though I'm trying to keep Thursday light, I think we're going to actually put it in here. And that'll be our last thing that goes in on Thursday. And then I think we're also going to do Wednesday for handwriting because I'm going to put grammar in on these other days and try not to double up the grammar and the handwriting, do those kind of alternating. So grammar Monday and Tuesday, and then do handwriting Wednesday and Thursday, and then not do either one on Friday. So that's kind of how I have that scheduled out. So I need this. I need to know how many days a week I'm doing this for me to create a schedule of a day. So I'm going to take a day. Let's just do Monday. And I'm going to create a fake schedule for Monday for these subjects. And this will give me an idea if I've given myself way too much or if I'm going to have enough time to add more, because I am somebody who likes to add more. So I've created this, and you can see across the top, we have the day of the week, and then I have my first student, and I have the work that she has with me, so things that she needs me for, and then work that she can do independently. She'll be in kindergarten. There's not going to be a ton of independent work, but I do want her to start thinking that way. So handwriting, things like that she can do once I've given her the instructions. At the table with me, of course, so if she needs me, I'm there, but I want her to start practicing independent. And then student 2 is my pre-care, and she's going to need me. There's no independent work. And then subjects that we do together. And then on this side, I have kind of my breakout of the day. We have our breakfast time, the chores that I want to get done in the morning. We have lunchtime, any chores that they need to do in the afternoon, an hour of reading time by themselves in the afternoon so that I have some downtime, and then free time. And then anything that needs to be done in the evening would be down here. So that's how I have it kind of broken out. So in the beginning, during breakfast together, I know that we want to do our memory work. That's pretty easy. And I also know we want to do our devotions. So that's something that I'll read to them or play the audio to them during the week. So that's before breakfast or during breakfast. And then we're going to have to take a break for me to do dishes, them to make their beds, do their teeth, that kind of thing. And I want to start my day. Again, this is not a tight schedule, but let's just say we start at 8:30. That doesn't seem ridiculous to me. And the first thing I want to do is our Bible time. And I think that's going to take roughly 20 minutes. Now, when I figure out how much time I think it's going to take, I give it the longer side. So if I think something's going to take between 10 and 20 or 15 and 20, I always schedule in 20 because I want to be generous. I don't want to go into my day and then have way more than I think I do. I'd rather schedule a little bit more time and have it take less and my kids get out of school a little earlier than the other way around. So with 20 minutes, that would put us at 8:50. Let's just say 8:55 for a little transition time. And then we're going to go into the scheduling. The way that seems to work best for my children is for me to do my preschooler first. I'm going to put her stuff first. And she needs me for everything. So let's say math, and that takes about 15 to 25 minutes. So we're going to do the 25 minutes. Let's put a minute in there so I know what that number is. And then after math, I would have her phonics and reading. And that's going to take us 20 minutes-ish a day. And then we will have any preschool miscellaneous, just any other things that I want to do with her, matching, coloring, cutting, and we're just going to put about 10 minutes to do that. So anything extra, and then we're going to go student 2 is done for the day. So that just helps. And down here, I can assign below her done miscellaneous crafting / playing, anything I want to set her down to do by herself. And then that is my preschooler. Now, when I set my preschooler, when I start doing her, my kindergartner will come to the table and do her independent work. And by that, I know she'll still need me some, maybe to help read instructions, but she's pretty well reading at this point. And so I want to give her her geography page because that's something that I can explain and she can do without a lot of help. They're very simple. And we're going to just say 10 minutes. Actually, I think that we'll just say 10 minutes. That's fine. And then we're going to do her math review page. Wow, I don't know why the font changed on me there. Let's just do this. So the math that we have has a page of review of things that she will already have learned and a page of work, new work. So I will not have her do her new work, but her review page, it will be concepts she has already done, already knows. So she should be able to do that with minimal need for me. So with that, my kindergarten or my preschooler, if I count in how much time, that's going to be 25, 45, 55, so about an hour of time here. And then when she is finished, so that's going to be about an hour later, so that'd be 9:55. We're going to be generous and just say 10 a.m. is going to be kind of the next slot of time when my preschooler is finished. So anything after my kindergartner has done her geography and math will just be break time for her because this should not take her a whole hour to do. And she can just go have a break in between. Then I'm going to call her back and I'm going to do her math, and it's going to be a little longer. I don't think it's going to be 45 minutes, but there may be a day when it is. I think it's going to be closer to 25 to 30 minutes, but we're going to schedule in 45 just to be generous to give us some time to take a break in between if we need. And this is for both her lesson that I have to teach her and her work page that goes along with the lesson. And then next will be reading / phonics. She's getting to the point where it's not so much phonetic work, it's just reading out loud, but we're going to put that in there anyway. And let's say 30 minutes. Again, I think this is going to be closer to 20 minutes, but I want to be a little bit generous. And then when those are going to be done, it's going to be about 11:15. So let's put that in here so we know. And again, this is not that I have to do it at 11:15. It's just me trying to figure out how much time is this all going to take. And then this day, and I'm not referring back to this as much because I have already printed this out on the side so I can reference this as I walk you through. But I would, when I'm doing this, I would reference this as I'm creating it because we've done our CC memory, our devotions, Bible, phonics, math. I haven't done grammar, German, or piano in here. So those are going to be what I need to put in next. So at 11:15, I would do grammar with my student, and I'm going to say 15 minutes max. It's pretty light, easy. And then here, would be 11:30, and we will have done all our individual subjects. And then at this point, I want to come back together and do our final group subjects, which would be our German, our history, our read alouds, that kind of stuff. So I want to take around breakfast time to do our devotions and memory. I want to start our day with our Bible curriculum, and then I want to go and do the individual subjects that take more brain, more work. And then at the end of the morning, when people are getting tired, I want to do the more easy things that I am more heavily involved in. They don't have as much work. And that would be, on this day, that would be German. My kids love languages. This is not going to be difficult. And I'm going to say like 20 minutes for that. So that would mean we would end our day around noon. with some breaks in between for each child, right? My preschooler is not going from 8:30 to noon. She has only an hour of work. And my kindergartner also will have a large break in between. So that's not steady. And then we do lunch. And then after lunch, I want to come back and I want to have a little bit of time for read alouds. My baby will go down for a nap. And so I think this is a good time for me to do 15 or 30 minutes of read alouds as a family. Any chores we have to do, my children will take quiet time to read books, look at pictures, just time quiet that I have a break. And then free time. And I don't have school planned after free time. The only thing I have in here is for my student, my first student. I do want her to practice the piano at some point during the afternoon, what we've been learning. And this day, I have it under with me because this will be the one day that I'll give her a lesson. The other days will make it individual work. So that gives you an idea of kind of how I would lay this out. And it tells me that if we start school at 8:30, we could finish by noon, except for our read alouds and devotion time. And I'm okay with that. And again, that's not each child working from 8:30 to noon. It's me working with my children from 8:30 to noon. This schedule I typed in real fast so you could see. This took me a lot of time to get where I wanted to be. I had to do and go, oh, wow, we went way over. I can't do all of this on this day. Or, just kind of figuring it out. It took me some time to figure out that the way to do this was going to be to have my preschooler go first while my older student did a little bit of her independent work. And then going into this, initially, I thought we'd do our German and history right after Bible. And then I thought, no, that puts individual subjects later in the day when my kids are getting antsy. If we do them in the afternoon, then they can do their coloring while we're learning or listening to our history. It just seemed like a easier, smoother flow to our day. I am going to go ahead and fill in these other days. Not with you here. I'm just going to go ahead and put them in, and then I will walk you through kind of my Thursday because that's our off day where we had the adventure group. That's the one that's a little different. So let me go ahead and change these and fill the rest of the days in real quick. Okay, so here I have it filled in all except Thursday, which I'll do with you again. But you can see the layout is really very similar every day. Once you get one day, it's just a matter of kind of finagling which is going to fit which day. But it would be, again, memory, devotions during breakfast, Bible time first. My older child goes into her independent work while I do my preschool stuff with my younger one, and then I do my older daughter's work, and then we do our family stuff together. Same for all these other days. The subjects change up slightly because I do logic one day or grammar one day or handwriting one day, but the format really, really stays the same. Thursdays being the different day because we do the adventure group on Thursdays, but I would still want to start the day with CC memory together during breakfast and our devotions. As well on those days. That will not change. Then we do our morning chores, and my older daughter would have a few things. I wouldn't do anything for my kindergartner, just for my older daughter. So at 8:30, my older daughter would do her geography work and her handwriting. So 20 minutes of independent work. And I'm going to say we'll schedule in about an hour for that prior to leaving for our adventure group. So I'm going to merge all these cells and just mark in here that this is adventure group day. We'll go ahead and center that because that is going to drive me nuts otherwise. There we go, much better. So this is going to be adventure group in the morning, and then after we come back and we'll have lunch, afterwards we're going to do our history for the day. And I'm assigning history here instead of read alouds after lunch because I don't want to try to cram both in. And then sometimes in the afternoon she'll have a little bit of piano practice. So I have kept Thursday very minimal, you can see. And while I'm not sure if we're actually going to do an adventure group or co-op every Thursday, I'm kind of actually leaning towards doing every other. That would still work because we like to go in and join my husband for his lunch break once every couple of weeks. So on our off week, we might do that, or I might need to go shopping or do a dentist appointment, or this is just can be a flex day on the times that we're not at our adventure group or co-op. This still gives me a light day to work other things in without completely cutting school for that day. So hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully this gives you an idea of how I have assigned my day, how I now know that everything that I want to do will fit within the time I want it to fit. And when I initially did this, it did not. It took me some thought and wiggling around, and it took me some like, oh, I don't want my day to go to 3 o'clock with a kindergartner. Now that sounds obvious, But if I do everything every day, it will. So this really helped me to see what is realistic for me to fit in my day and how I think I want to create the flow for my day. Again, I am not going to be going by these times. That is purely for my own estimation, just to see how much time I think it's going to take. This is not for me to actually use these times. But this is how I kind of want the flow of my day to go. Okay, so that's a view at how I plan my homeschool schedule, how I see if I have the right amount of curriculum or if I've overdone it, if I have room to add more in or not. And it, like I said, it gives me a flow for my day. So I hope this was helpful for you. Again, if I did not make something clear, please let me know. I would love to clarify anything that you have questions on. And again, if you haven't been watching these videos and you want to see the 2 that I did prior to this on the planning, I've linked those below, so go ahead and check those out. And I will see you again for more videos next week.